Welcome, everybody. It's your boy, the Versace Stoner, with another episode of VSW. Thank you, everybody. It's your boy, the Versace Stoner, alongside
with the Sable Feet,
with a very special edition of VSW, and today we are starting something, that is for sure, Disabled Wolf.
Wanna be starting something, We are wrestling at its finest, a brand new promotion in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. And it was such a great show, Versace.
My God, it was one of my favorite shows I've seen all summer so far. I mean, let me tell you something. I saw this show being announced a few months ago. It was a brand new promotion. And, you know, they were just... they had a little bit of a match card. And then all of a sudden I saw AG showing up. And I was like, you know what? I'm all in. I didn't even look any further. I bought a VIP ticket all for myself and just was like, I'm going. And then they let him pick, like, anybody on the card that he wanted to face.
Oh, yep. And it was Rob Killjoy, the ugly duckling, but we'll get to that more later.
We sure will. And, you know, after that, I think I told you, Disabled, you better get yourself a ticket. This show is going to sell out. Let's get to it. We did it. Went VIP. Came with a very nice collective poster signed by
and
all the wrestlers.
Autographed by a meet and greet in the ring with Anthony Green.
You know, and it was just a heartfelt night. The promoter was super, super nice. You know, we had a very sad story. You know, he lost his mom, and I can really feel that for him. And all the, you know, talent came out to support him. The fans supported him. You know, we were one big family in that room. And this guy just gave it his all under all the pressure, all the stress,
everything. How can you
everything.
not want him to be successful?
You know, and I just hope the best for this guy and his whole promotion. And I hope it gets to IWTV soon, or, you know, Fight or something, so the whole world can see what we saw. But let's dive into the card. You know, there was a pre-show match. There was a student match there, highlighting some of the local students and some from afar. We got to see, I know, Disabled, if you're very upset, you don't want me to even talk about this. You drove all the way down there.
Just so we could see the main attraction, Mac Daniels, because John Albert would want us to get there early.
And, you know, he wasn't there. But, you know, if you listen to this, Mac, not cool. You disappointed a fan. And he's probably your only fan. So, yeah, don't do that. Luckily, he's also a fan of Dylan Nix.
Absolutely. He was one of the VSW original.
He was one of the VSW original interviewees. He reached out to us right away when we started this podcast. Very great guy. You should check out all his content. You know, he's on Twitter. He's on...
We thought our ride was far, Versace. Him and MSP had a very far ride.
They had an extra 2 to 3 hours ahead of us, and you know, but you know what? That's what the world of wrestling is. It's driving to shows. It's the rides you take. You know, it's the memories you make along the way, as much as what happens in and outside that ring.
And every non-wrestling fan will tell all you indie wrestlers, they'll tell us, hey, I'll think we're nuts, especially from Massachusetts. You go more than half an hour, it'll be like a 3-hour ride.
Oh, but I'll tell you, we've been all over the place. We've been to Jersey. We've been to Kansas. We've been to Canada. We are even going to All Out in Chicago. You know, we are going to catch some GCW Black Label Pro 3 stuff cups. It's going to be a great night there, and then we are going to be doing the All Out and all of that. So it's going to be a great time. But let's get back to this right here. Stop me off here, Disabled. What was that opening contest?
The opening contest was scheduled for one fall.
One fall?
And it is an opening first ever match between Matt Cross and Silvave Al-Sabah.
You know, this was an intense matchup. First of all, let me just tell you something. Matt Cross is a world-renowned expert wrestler, veteran in the ring, can do
very
anything,
athletic.
Anything. We saw him. I don't know. Well, he did wrestle Anthony Green recently in that second main show. But I don't know if you've seen other of his matches. I've followed him for quite a while, ever since Suburban Fight Club when he fought Chris Bay. I've seen him in some other stuff. He's been
in
Impact. He's been in Lucha Underground. He's done all sorts of work. So it's always a pleasure to see him. And his opponent, just as equally talented in that ring.
And another high flyer. I think he's from the New York, New Jersey area, too.
Yeah, he is. And it was my first time seeing him. And I have to say, I was quite impressed.
The crowd was going huge for him more than Matt Cross. The people in New Jersey probably don't know Matt Cross as well as...
Maybe not. It's always fun going state to state to state because, some fans of people don't even know who they are in other promotions. It's weird as you go to state to state. It is. But, this was a great, high-flying, exciting match to open up the contest.
Absolutely. It was a very great match, a hell of an opener between two high flyers. They even broke a chair in that VSW church in New Jersey.
Yep, they did. And they took the action outside of the ring.
And the match was very good. Are you ready to move on, Versace?
Yeah, we want to tell them who won the match, sir. You did forget to tell them.
I think it was Matt Cross who won the match. It was
M-Dog Matt Cross that won that matchup. And you know what? Well-deserved victory. Like I said, he is a veteran. You can see him almost everywhere. He's back on the scene kind of in our area anyways. I've seen him. But I think he was just saying he had to fly out somewhere to the Carolinas. I don't know. He was going all over the place.
He always is, like a few people on this card.
Oh, yeah.
And are you ready to move on, Versace?
I am.
The next contest is their first ever all-female contest between the other similar alien space girl, Billy Starks, versus the leader of the Scrunchy Squad, who we know so well, Becca.
This was another great contest, and I always love seeing Becca wherever we go. She's really broken out of that New England cage, and fast. Very fast. She's worked other Jersey shows as well. She did Wrestler's Laboratory. And, when I first laid eyes, she was working NCW as Basic Becca, in that women's, ballroom blitz. And now look at her now. She's holding on to two titles.
She ain't Basics no more.
She's got 2 titles in her hands.
Chaotic Panoptic Championship and the first ever NCW Women's Champion.
And, she's just starting to move more and more into the different territories. I can't say, she's one of the best that New England has. She's great. And, it was the first time me seeing the other lady in the ring.
I heard so much about this lady, too, Billy Stark. Very athletic.
Very good. It was a great matchup between these two. These guys, they really gave it their all, and they were, but the chemistry was right. Okay, the chemistry was right. It was good. It made sense. And, at the end of the day, though, it was the leader of the Scrunchy Squad, Becca.
The New Jersey faithful do not know her that well, and they weren't very receptive of her.
They weren't, but they'll get to know her very well because, you know what? She is one of the best, whether it is in New England, outside New England, across the United States. Becca is going to become a household name within the next few years. You can just tell she has the charisma, she has the athleticism. She didn't do her signature move that we've seen her do here in Maine and in Chaotic, but she still had another finisher that was pretty, impressive that she hit in that match. She always delivers. I can't say enough good stuff about Becca.
And are you ready to move on, Versace?
Sure am.
This match was a great match, and it is a triple threat match between Steve Pena, one half of Yokai Yoya, and you got the chosen one, Yaya.
Let me first talk to you for a second about this match. I tell you, Yaya, not Yoya, Yaya.
Yo and the yeah.
I was the first time I saw him, and he's gained a new fan, and all the respect in the world.
He's kind of like Keith Lee, how he's a high flyer with His size, he has a great aerial move.
He is a powerhouse aerial specialist, in my opinion, and one of the best in the game. I was super impressed by him.
I was very impressed with Yo-Ya since we saw him and his partner face the outfielders in Camp Leapfrog the week before.
We did see them down when we were at the camp. And summer camp was a fun time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's Uncle Sid.
You had yourself a great old time, you and the director of fun. But anyways, this match was everything that a triple threat match should be in wrestling. And Pena was good too. Don't forget him. But let me tell you that this was everything. It was very exciting, and you really didn't know who was gonna win. The crowd was all for both, either yeah or yeah. They were going back and forth. And like I said, it was just a lot of high-flying action.
Absolutely. A lot of these guys even flew outside of the ring. There were a lot of times where all three men weren't even in the ring, Versace.
Yep.
There were double teams. There was a lot of high-flying over
There was
the
high-flying,
top
superstar action, all sorts of greatness. And, that's what I'm saying. Like, every one of these matches on this card delivered, in my opinion. This is a great promotion. They did a great job setting these matches up.
But Yaya is very well known in New Jersey, New York.
He is?
He had a huge fan club with him.
Yep, he did. And it was great. We were sitting right in front of them, I believe.
I really hope I get to see all three men wrestle again.
But, so, at the end of the day, though, it was Yaya with the impressive victory.
And are you ready to move on, Versace?
Yeah, I am.
All right, I remember the match that happened next. It is a battle of guys from MLW. But one guy we know too well. The other guy we actually sponsored. We haven't seen him wrestle in New England, but it is Ken Broadway, New York's finest, versus the AirPod God MJF lookalike Richard Halliday.
Don't forget, we also saw Ken Broadway on AEW television as well. And you know what? He is one of my favorite actual wrestlers in the game.
I love his gimmick when he has fake money.
He is a high flyer. He's got the money. There's nothing fake about those dollars. We were sitting front row. I could see that was real cash. He was playing it. He offered Holiday to buy. He was going to buy
the AirPods.
He offered him money. Whatever you want, and Holiday wouldn't sell them. I don't know why. I mean,
he loves the AirPods. He didn't want to be bothered.
Let me tell you something, Richard Holiday. You should hang around with Sidney Baca, Bella, some more. He will teach you how to sell stuff and make some money.
And he's got to stop thinking of his friend Maxwell as a very polite young man.
Forget about Maxwell. This guy could have doubled up. He could have sold the AirPods for double the value and then bought another pair. I mean, that's a smart seller. Forget about smart consumers. What about a smart seller?
He is most marketable. Money. He should know about
He should know how to make money in the game. I am a little sad about that. He should have sold the AirPods. But anyways, let's move on with that. He's a very talented wrestler, though. You got to remember, he is the first BC Dub champ. BC Dub. He threw it right in the trash.
Kind of like a Medusa.
Yep, exactly. Threw it right in the trash. We didn't even get to unveil the piece of junk. He threw the piece of shit right in the garbage. It was funny as hell that day. Down in, where were we? That doubleheader show.
Championship Wrestling.
But it was a doubleheader show.
With the last Evolve show.
The last Evolve ever. Yeah, crazy times. But yeah, this was a great matchup. Most marketable, and Ken Broadway both, duking it out. Ken Broadway is a super talented, high-flying, high-impact wrestler. He's very, very fun to watch. If you're into
all those
style,
guys with their elbow chops in the ring were outstanding.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? To say, Wolf, I mean, it's crazy. I know you haven't got a chance with KPW yet, but you should have seen this other kid, my friend Brian, talking about chops.
God, for
He wrestled the other day. I had to wrestle him. The chops this kid took, he was fucking down on the ground. It was insane. We actually pulled it off, us crazy kids with KPW.
Shouldn't he have back injuries right now?
He probably is. I haven't seen him since. But you should see the matches that have come your way from that show with TJ Tugger and Tough Daddy and all the other fun people that
I
they
don't-
picked up
The
along the
Wolf
way.
doesn't like KPW. He doesn't even know who's in charge of this thing.
Oh, I know. They haven't even dragged, but they've been trying to drag me. They found me from these podcasts, and they've dragged me into this world of theirs, and it's kind of been kind of crazy.
What is it? Reverse Power Rangers?
It's kind of like, what's it called? Hostile, but like without anybody getting killed. But anyways, forget about that. You keep getting me off topic here to say, well, focus.
All right.
Let me tell you something. At the end of the day, it was most marketable Richard Holiday with the victory over Ken Broadway.
And he just put his AirPods on and he just walked right out.
He did, and you know what? He's going to have himself a grand old time at Americarana. He gets to fight with all his friends against the Dirty Daddy.
In the main event of Denver, Colorado's Americarana.
Americarana!
Denver, Colorado.
Can't wait. That's another great New England tradition.
And are you ready to move on,
I
Versace?
am.
So you got one of the show stealers of the night was a style 5-way scramble.
This was insane. My God. 5 different styles of wrestling.
You got Isaiah Wolf, who was very beloved in New York, versus Bruno, versus the other half of Yokai, Gianna K.
Yep.
And you got
Janakai. Yep.
Gianna Kai. And you got, what's his name? Mr. Law right there. And you got One Game Leroy.
Oh, Mike Law.
Mike Law. My apologies.
Wasn't he like the most strongest man or something? He came out with that big barbell, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. 1,000 pounds, Versace.
It's insane. I haven't seen anybody lift that much since Sir Liftington, and that was incredible. And like I said, you also had one of my favorites, the Game Kid.
Mm-hmm.
He reminds me of Orange Cassidy with the Switch. He's amazing.
The guy can actually multitask.
We were close enough that I could see that screen was moving. He was playing a game. That wasn't just no trick.
And Isaiah Wolf was sometimes he was laughing, sometimes he was getting very frustrated with that guy's antics. But you got Bruno being over too. But you got Mike Law getting so frustrated all the time.
Oh, yeah, he's one of those guys you could tell that just gets very agitated when he doesn't get his way. And it wasn't his way at all.
He even got...
Didn't he bring in, like, his best friend or something?
He looked like a Peter Avalon ripoff.
He did. It was a cheap Avalon ripoff. But anyways, it was a weird kind of scramble. What was it like? All 5 entrants, and then they fought. Then every minute or 2 minutes,
someone comes in.
Somebody else came in.
I like that kind of concept for Versace.
It's very different. We don't see that a lot, and it does. It's very fun.
Leapfrog may have had a few of those scrambles, but it was a way, I think, for the owner to showcase all the talent he has. Because I'm not familiar with the New York area as much as you are. So I got to see a lot of these talents for the first time.
Yeah, you don't get to see much of the Jersey area talents like I do going out there. But so I went to Russell's Laboratory. I went to the other shows. But at the end of the day, like I said, all this was a very good showcase of talent. We got to see a lot of new faces for myself. And some old faces. Like I seen Game Leroy before. But
I even yelled at him that the new Pokemon game's coming out in November.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he was trying to get all the inside scoop while winning his match.
That's what I'm talking about. And you know what? That he did.
And his brain isn't in Mushroom Kingdom as much as you think, folks.
Nope. And you know what? Either is his Switch. His Switch is just as tough as him. It took a very hard elbow, but it survived.
Yes, it did, Versace.
And he was playing it as he took that victory home. It'll be interesting to see where he goes in this company.
Absolutely. Are you ready to move on, Versace?
I am.
So right at intermission, they had a thing where we got to meet Anthony Green, and you got to meet Mr. Richard Holiday.
I did say hi to
Shout out to the Ugly Duckling stand. You tried to sell me a D2 VHS that I probably had watched over 100 times when I was younger. And he had parodies of Ghostbusters, The Mighty Ducks, obviously, Stranger Things, in terms of ducks.
Oh,
Rob
yeah, he has
Killjoy.
some of the greatest
And what a great deal he did, too. He accepted all payments like everyone should. I want to give a shout-out to Rob Killjoy.
He does a great job with the merch, and he always has something fresh. He stands right. He sells it himself. You know, you can meet him. You can get those package deals. You know, you buy the autograph. You buy the shirt. You get some stickers. You get a picture. You get everything all together. It's great. I did talk to Richard Holiday a little bit. I talked to AG a little bit. Who else did I meet that day? I met Mike Law, actually, too. I went and talked to him as well. I walked around, you know, and saw who was out there. I always love to support my local independent wrestlers. And this way, even a little bit, they're not even local to me, but they're independent wrestlers. I know them. I love to support them. Matt Cross was also there. He had a table as well.
Yeah.
You could talk to him.
Ken Broadway, I believe, too.
Yep, Ken was out there. So, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody was really great coming out. And, you know, they were signing that poster that we got with the VIPs.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. And like I said, we got to go inside the ring, get a nice professional photo with AG. He was very nice to do that. He offered that service with the VIP package. And, you know, I heard just great, wonderful things about AG just being there anyways, just being a real asset to We Are Wrestling. And that's what it's all about, helping your brothers out in this sport, because at the end of the day, that's all you got is your brothers and your sisters and the fans. Are we ready to move on?
Absolutely, Versace.
Okay.
The next match was a tag team match, and it was between the people we really know so well in New England. MSP with their vibe. Always good to see Danger Kid and Aiden Agro stealing the show against a team that's beloved in New York, besties in the world.
And this is actually a dream match across the indie scene. I think it even is a dream match for MSP. And I love the new drip. They got the great song. You know, the gear, everything, their style. It has changed since that fateful night at Limitless.
Very emotional day.
It was an emotional day that day, but you know what? It has changed for the better. I am loving the new MSP. They look free. They look happy. You know, they're chill. They're right up the Versace Stoner's alley. You know, some chill.
They ditched the poo, we added the drip.
They did. And you know what? It works, and I love it. And they are one of my favorite tag teams in...
And I also love seeing besties in the world with their varsity sweaters.
They're great. They were a great tag team, and this is, you know, what I always talk about when I talk about tag team wrestling, non-makeshift tag teams, teams that actually work together, have chemistry together, have maybe even matching gear. You know, that's what I like to see.
That's the old school way.
That's the old school way, exactly. People like Killer Bees and Heart Foundation and Demolition. You know, not all these makeshift tag teams, but just, you know, let's throw two people together, have them wrestle. Hey, maybe even give them a cute name. No. I want to see real tag team wrestlers, people that have been on the road together for years.
And the chemistry's really great.
And that's what we saw in this, and that's what made this match so special.
Absolutely, Versace. And it was MSP coming away with the victory. All kinds of flips, drips, and there was a lot of high-flying maneuvers, too.
There was, and it was one of my, like I said, one of my favorite matches. I'm a tag team man, you know that as much as anybody.
All right, are you ready to move on, Versace?
I am.
So the following contest was billed as an AEW versus Impact versus with Savannah Evans from Impact versus the ravishing Russian. It ain't Lana, it's Masha Slam. Oh, wait, it wasn't her either, Versace.
No, that night Masha actually was down at AEW
in Pittsburgh
Dark
for some Rampage.
And you'll actually be able to see her actually tonight.
Absolutely.
It was actually being aired. Her match against
Penelope Ford.
Yep, another New England favorite. So this was a great matchup, but you know, like I said, kudos to her. We didn't get to see her here.
But we had her manager, who was a Tony Schimmel ripoff.
Yeah, that little guy. I wanted to get a hold of him. He really annoyed me.
He replaced him was Caitlin King, who wrestles all over the country, NWA, and she appeared on AEW Dark.
Caitlin King, yeah. I have to say,
But that little guy tried to harass Savannah Evans all night long.
I have to say, I wasn't impressed with her at all. Savannah Evans, though, she came
awesome.
out like a
Had a
champ.
brawler-type moveset, too.
I mean, I thought she at first was a UFC fighter. I didn't even know she was a wrestler. Like, she was a badass, and she came out and she did what she had to do.
Yeah.
You know, that little Russian, he brought out, you know, his little AEW friend.
And he was clapping hands. He was harassing Evans all night long.
Yeah.
Tried to grab her leg. That's not cool, man.
No, well, I mean, that's what managers do, but, you know, come on. Let them just fair fight. You know, you have them, you know, you're saying your girl's the best, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was the best if you have to cheat to win.
Absolutely. And she certainly did cheat. It upset so many of that faithful in New Jersey.
She did, and, you know, and I wasn't, you know, I think everybody was a little shocked by that.
Absolutely. And that little guy ran out of the church as fast as he can.
Yes, he
And he
did.
ain't no gingerbread man, that's for sure.
No,
for
he's
Sox.
way too fat to be the gingerbread man. But you know what? I'll tell you what, he looked like a little Tony Soprano. Like half the size of Tony, all the suit though.
He reminded me of Tony Schimmel without the voice.
I don't know what part of Jersey they got this guy from, but shit. I tell you, I ever catch him in Boston.
Oh, he wouldn't last 2 seconds at the North End.
Oh, no, not him.
Jesus.
Not him. Are you ready to move on?
Absolutely, Versace. So the following match was a match we actually came all the way from New York for. It was the first advertised match for Anthony Green right before we saw him in Undeniable in the surprise entrance in Limitless, formerly known as August Gray. New England legend Anthony Green versus the ugly duckling himself, Rob Killjoy, who I could not wait to see wrestle live Versace.
Yeah, I had seen Rob wrestle at the Wrestler's Laboratory taping, Season 2, Alchemy, and I was like, oh my god, you had to miss that show, and I was like, oh my god, Disabled Wolf's gonna love this, though. First of all, he comes out quacking. Second of all, I saw the D2 thing, I'm like, B's gonna love this shit. You know, and then I was like, my god, whenever I saw his merch, because he has all that pop culture mixed in.
That was amazing design. Give me the Wolf a few ideas for the future, Versace.
Oh, we're going to have all sorts of merch coming up. That's what, you know what, I don't want to tell a little people about this, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the end. We got more collab work coming on with Mr. Rodney Bays with the VSW.
I'm dying to meet the Rod Father.
But I'm going to talk a little bit about that at the end. I just want to get through this show. But yeah, once I saw Rob Killjoy, I was like, the Wolf's going to love this dude. My God, it's going to be great. He's got to see him. And when I saw that AG picked him,
you made me get off my ass and grab a ticket.
I did. I was like, go get yourself a VIP ticket right now. You're not gonna miss it. You know. And I thought this was the main event of the show. I didn't even know about the main event, which was an unbelievable match.
But this was the best I've seen Anthony Green. You can tell he's got some work in the Performance Center because he's high flying. He's using the middle to top rope. More.
Retro is dead, but the alternative is alive and well. And let me just tell you, he's going to take New England by storm. Okay, he's got something to prove. You know, he's much different than he was left, you know. Yeah, he still might be the same nice dude, you know, in between, you know, matches. He's going to say hi to you. He's definitely still the same AG in behind the scenes. You know, he's a very helpful guy. Helps everybody. Can make sure everybody's okay. He's the first one probably there. I bet he's one of the last one to leave. AG is really, truly the living gimmick of Undeniable and always reliable because he is.
You know, I was so happy to see us Versace. It was not only because we get the VIP, because he gets to get away with his girlfriend's obsession with Luke.
Wait till we get to our VLC, you know, set up and we start to cover that. We'll have a lot of fun with that one. But you know what? You are right about that. And also, you know what? You know, I'm a big fan of AG. I've always have. You know, prior to the pandemic, back when he was, you know, all good, and I used to see him in NCW Retro. You
He
know,
was
when
in every promotion,
chaotic,
big or
I've
small.
seen him beyond. I've seen him in everywhere we went. He was the greatest, one of the greatest Limitless champions.
He used to be called the Uncle Jesse of pro wrestling. Have mercy.
His feuds with MJF were insane. Everything this guy has done is gold. But like I said, outside the ring, he's the same AG. Still that helpful. Still that, always paying attention. Still that great guy. In the ring, he is more cutthroat than ever. And he's here to make a stand. You know what? He's here. He's back from WWE. Fine. But guess what? He's not. He's gonna destroy the competition. There's nobody out there right now that can match his level.
Not
he knows
at all.
that.
And he's better than ever.
He knows he can walk into any promotion, get a title shot, and get out of it with it.
He had a lot of great super kicks. Rob Killjoy had a lot of great brawl maneuvers.
Listen, let me tell you something. If he wasn't cheated, okay, if he wasn't cheated at Limitless, he would have been 2-time Limitless World Champion. You know that. We were there. You saw it. Him and Rob Killjoy gave one hell of a performance. These two just, they
lived up to their hype.
They lived up to the hype and more.
They could have delivered on TNT or USA.
We had about a 5.5, 6 hour ride with the traffic that day, and it was worth every second of it when I saw this match. And, these guys delivered. It was Anthony Green, though, coming away with the victory. And that sweet new move he did. I don't know if you caught it, but...
It's like a Hurricanrana and 360 from the middle rope, too.
Yep.
Rob Killjoy.
It was good. And you can see all that on his Twitter.
I became a huge fan of Rob Killjoy that night. I really can't
He's a great wrestler, and those two had a lot of respect for each other.
And they gave a speech after.
They gave a speech, and like I said, AG really could pick anybody. He wanted Killjoy. He never worked with them. He worked with them. And it was amazing. It was amazing. And that wasn't even the main event of the evening.
The main event of the evening was a hell of a main event. You can tell these two go way back culture. They have great chemistry against one another. One of them we're getting to know really well in New England, which it's actually for a title. It's the Pan-African Championship, I believe it's called.
Is it Pan-Op? I don't know. I get it.
It was Pan-African.
Pan-African. Yep.
And we apologize, folks, but we'll announce the competitor. The champion was the Afro-Funk, former Afghanistan veteran for the USA Armed Forces, Trish Adora.
We've gotten to know her very well through Beyond Wrestling and WWR and all of that. She's been killing the scene out there. We've watched her fight Wheeler Yuta. We've watched her fight all over there.
And now she wants a shot. She could be an undisputed champion if she could get her hands.
Well, right now you know that they made that champion and the IWTV champion. They have PWI have made those both considered world championships. So that is
and you
huge
don't think this
for
challenger knows that and wants to try and destroy all her momentum? The goonless Darius Carter.
He is an amazing wrestler.
He is
like
a
villain out of a horror movie / comedy. He comes at you, and you know what? He is ruthless. He's aggressive. He's everything that I want out of a wrestler.
He hates poor people too, Versace.
He does. Just like Richard Holiday, he doesn't speak poor.
And he had this Bobby Roode / Ric Flair type entrance.
But he's just an evil, evil man, and he's a great wrestler.
And he had such a huge obsession with that title. Trish Adora was.
Everybody wants that title. Everybody wants to wear that around their waist. That's a huge monument, especially now that PWA has made it a world championship title. Like I said, you don't understand how big that is for the independent scene. That and the IWTV, currently held on by Wheeler Yuta, is also now considered a world championship. That is big in the wrestling world for the indie scene. These before weren't recognized as world championships.
And Adora's a fantastic submission specialist.
She is an unbelievable wrestler, and one of my favorite female athletes that are out there today. And she gives it 120%. She's there with the fans. She's got the energy.
She's got huge energy.
And, and her and Darius, you're right, they had great chemistry, and you could tell there was a story being told in that ring. And it was amazing, the story that was being told.
And Darius Carter is being abusive towards campers in Camp Leapfrog. That's where I first met that guy.
Yep, he was there the week before, and he had the Goon Squad with him, and and this guy just came out. He's one of my new favorite wrestlers, and another one that, like I said, this show brought me a lot of new faces that I'm now following, and Mr. Darius Carter is one of them. This was a crazy matchup, but at some point, the referee got knocked out. Wasn't on purpose. I watched it. It wasn't on purpose, okay? Another referee came in. Darius put his legs on the rope. He got the win. Okay?
I remember that for Sasha. And he celebrated like he won the Super Bowl.
He celebrated like there was no other celebration. If they could have done fireworks in that place, they would have for him.
They would have made him, too.
Then I think it was Referee Nick that woke up from what was going on, and he was like, his legs were on the rope. They restarted the match.
And he was so upset. He was so bullshit there.
He was pissed. He ran off.
He tried Patricia Dora. Too athletic. You can't fool her like that.
Nope. She dragged his ass out.
And I think he got to make her finishing maneuver on him, and then she won the match, and the crowd came around the ring, stomped on the...
We were stomping on the mat. We were celebrating Patricia Dora and her victory, and what a night in professional wrestling it was. What a show this has been. I mean, I was just floored by it. Like I said, kudos to the whole production team, everything, and I can't wait to see it on air somewhere so I can hear the commentary that's behind there, because I did hear that the promoter did the commentary as well, so I'd like to hear the commentary.
And Sam Lanterna.
And Sam Lanterna, another great
she's
asset
be
to
up
the
there
indie
with JR or Renee Young in a few years.
Easily. We saw her do the ring announcing work for Camp Leapfrog, and she killed it there too. She's a great asset to the independent wrestling scene. We were very lucky to have her. Very lucky to have Rich Palladino as well. We have such a great pool of independent talent, from everywhere that come here to this area to watch and to wrestle and to perform.
I am so happy we made it out to the New Jersey. I know the old wolf can't handle a long road trip as much as you can. I did okay, but I cannot wait to go back to Jersey again someday.
It will happen. We will see what's going to be going on.
And it wasn't a sauna like the H2O.
No, it wasn't. It was very nice over there. That is where
they had Philadelphia-style pretzels.
They do. That is where we
went. That is worth the drive.
That is where me and Mashup went for Wrestler's Laboratory and the filming, and, it was great. It's a great location. The food is decent. It's cheap, and the drinks, sodas, everything's cheap. It's a great area. It's cool. And, yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, definitely worth checking it out if you got to see a show there.
And the Wolf went solo with VSW for the first 2 times ever. Catch my first ever Rampage recap. I am going to start doing every Rampages this week. Like I said, I don't want to say his name, but I am so amped for Second City Savior to return in the United Center in the first dance. You know who it is, as Mac Daniel would say. But
the main attraction's coming to AEW?
Nah, he ain't that worthy of selling out in a
But
arena.
I heard John Alba's going to be in Chicago, though rumors are spreading already.
I want the VIP tickets. I'll wrestle Alba like you posted.
Alba's got VIP tickets. You should wrestle him. If Randy Carver's listening, make this happen at Vacation Land Cup. Oh, that's right. Alba's not going to be there. He's sending somebody else to face Davey Ann. He just can't be a man yet. Soon, though. Soon! But yes, Alba, we will be seeing you in Chicago.
Where's OnlyFans for Sachi and we're not a Patreon?
I don't get it. I don't understand it. And honestly, sometimes I don't want to get it or understand it.
And but anyways, yes. I'm going to start covering the AEW Rampage Weeklies, easy for me. And I'm going to go over, I didn't go last week, but go over all the women's, the tag team, and the men's rankings and evaluate how storylines can be further. Like, who's going to face Kenny Omega? Who's going to face the Young Bucks? Who's going to face DMD? You'll hear that every single week, Versace.
Every week?
Gonna
My
do the...
God, that will be
What
great.
a day in wrestling, as you would say.
It is. It's going to be great.
And speaking of New Jersey, we're in Williamstown in the sweatbox sauna of the H2O Center. We were at the IWTV 100, and you can catch my recap. It's been out for a few hours now. Please check it out. It was a great time for all.
Thank you for getting that out. Just if I've had some family issues that I've had to attend to. So I've been kind of busy on and off and things, and you've done a great job stepping it up. What a good wolf.
Do I get a raise for such?
No, but we will give you a Scooby snack.
Yay!
So you will get one of those, and maybe you'll get to try to keep up with the Versace Stoner. But until that day, everybody, thank you very much for listening. It's been a great time. Check out We Are Wrestling.
And we want to be starting something.
Go on Twitter, give them a follow. They're going to be having another event, I'm sure. Make sure you're part of it because you're going to want to be, And thank you.
Disable out.
Versace Stoner out. Peace.